Do you know what I'd like? I'd love an item which is like completely left field. Something which actually is a little bit, I don't know, dare I say, risque.
I was going to say something then, but it would have been rude.
What, like a mankini or something?
Oh,
That's what
okay,
you're
that's,
thinking?
yeah.
Do you know,
if you
I
want,
think
you
it'd
can go
just be
with
funny, and I actually think it would probably sell well, but that's something we can maybe test.
I definitely think one of our coaches would wear that.
Yeah.
And you know who that would be. Jake, what up?
What's up?
Jake, I see you're wearing some revamped merchandise.
I am wearing some revamped merchandise. Jack, do you know why?
Oh, today we are going to talk about merchandise.
We are.
That's why.
That sounds like the most boring podcast episode in the world. But actually, it's one of the questions we probably get more so than any other. It's funny. We write a newsletter, obviously, every week. We go deep into loads of different topics. We talk about numbers. We're transparent with everything we're doing. Yet, anytime we write a newsletter on merchandise, it's like, where do you guys order from?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, there's so much good stuff here. Like, let's just not just focus on where we order our t-shirts from. But it is a topic that a lot of gym owners are interested in.
And it's actually been a nice little revenue lever for us. And it's an absolute win-win with merch because you put merch out to the world, your members wear merch, they wear it all around your local town, especially if it's good stuff, which we're going to talk about today. It's been pretty cool.
But the problem is with merchandise, and this was my slight worry at the beginning, was yes, it sounds cool. Yes, it's obvious that you need it, but it could also become a little bit of a faff every month, trying to order, manage stock, send it out, package it up, all that kind of thing. Like before you know it, the thing that you thought would be like a nice little layer of revenue on top of what you're doing becomes actually quite a big part of your week. And that was something that we definitely did not want to happen.
No, 100%. I think what you don't want to do is have orders coming in every single day and trying to fulfill those orders as they come in. And we were big on not making that happen.
Yeah.
So we come up with a little structure that we have at Revamp to make sure that everything is systemized and automated. And we love it.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little about that today. We're going to talk about what we have as a collection because we make them seasonal, don't we, Jake?
Well, bearing in mind, we've only really been open one season at Revamp.
Yeah. But we have a season collection coming.
Yes.
We're going to talk about suppliers. We're going to talk about the system itself, how to automate it, and how you can actually make this a part of your business and your top line. Because it's pretty exciting, and to have people advertising your gym and getting paid for it is just a really cool thing.
Yeah,
So
that is, and again, that often gets overlooked. So yeah, coming back to the actual system that we have in place, one of the reasons we wanted a system was for the reasons I outlined at the beginning, which is we didn't want to order loads of stock, pay loads of cash up front, store it, package it, send it. To do that would have just been an absolute nightmare. I remember when I used to be in a pop band, right?
Here we go.
I'm going to take you back. And every year we got invited to do this gig, and every year we'd sell out on merchandise because they were all people that wanted to buy our t-shirts, believe it or not.
Guys, there's a plus 15-second button right next to the play button. You can hit that right now.
So whenever I talk about me being in a pop band, I get a little bit teased. I won't lie. But one of the things I remember doing is that we ordered loads of stock up front. And of course, the benefit of doing that is you can obviously lower the unit costs and therefore make more profit. But the disadvantages, I think, outweigh the advantages, especially when you got very low profit margins as it is when it comes to physical merchandise. But I remember getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning and sitting there at the dinner table for about 2-3 hours, packaging all of these t-shirts, putting them into size orders, all of that kind of stuff. And I just thought, we can't be doing that at Revamp.
Massive ball ache.
Exactly. So the merchandise system that we built is essentially what a lot of kind of premium brands do, independent brands do, which is having seasonal drops, right? Or monthly drops, really, but obviously with a seasonal theme to each collection. So the number one thing that we did right from the beginning was what items can we order which our members would love, but also would sell well? So you want to run us through what those items were?
Yeah, collection-wise. So we see ourselves and our members see it as a very premium product, right? We want to bring really good stuff. So I think the first thing to say is that we went for really good quality stuff.
We're going to come on to the actual.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm talking more about like what is the
Yes, boss. Okay. We went for zipped hoodie.
zipped hoodie.
A zipped hoodie. Number one, we didn't go with normal hoodies. We felt like it would be nicer with zipped. And actually, we had feedback from members that they prefer that before we ordered.
Yeah, see, again, that's a good example of like, I mean, I rarely wear zipped hoodies, but turns out a lot of people do. Turns out a lot of people wanted them.
She's not quite that level.
No.
We had a t-shirt.
Classic.
That people obviously wear to sessions. We had tote bag. And by the way, I'm seeing a lot of those about town, Jake.
I haven't. Do you know what?
Yeah, that is the Chanel of Hadley right there.
Little secret from me. I haven't actually seen anyone.
No, that's because you never come to work.
Yeah, that's true.
You stay in the village. You never come out. People are like, "Where's Jake?" I said, "He's in the village. He doesn't come out." We have a tote bag, and I forgot the rest.
You forgot.
Of the
So we got a t-shirt, a zipped hoodie, a tote bag, and let me just refer to my notes. A beanie hat.
A beanie hat,
Yeah.
yes, for the winter. And that, again, did really well. I think our coaches really took most of those. But really, really nice stuff. And we got a lot of great feedback on the quality and everything else, which was cool. So that was our last drop. Should we talk a little about the summer drop? What's going to happen there?
Yeah, I mean, one thing to obviously recognize with that is like, what's that, like 4 different items of clothing or merchandise? We purposefully didn't want to add any more than that, and we probably never will have more than 4 on at any time, just because like I feel like you start to dilute the impact that merchandise can have when there's more optionality, because when there's more options, people end up actually buying a range of different stuff. So when they're walking around, there's not really that instant recognition or that instant awareness of who they are representing. So I like having like 4 max. And it's important to note as well, the t-shirt that we have on offer is different from the t-shirt that we give every single person who joins the challenge as well. So it offers a little bit of differentiation through that. But yeah, in terms of like looking forward, obviously now we're in April. So we're actually going to be launching something else for the next quarter. So we may stick with some of the items that we already have and then throw in a few different ones, obviously, which are going to be a little bit more seasonal. But this is the first conversation we've had about it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I think it's just listening to feedback from all of our members. They want a vest of some kind, a female style vest to work out in the summer, and that's been the real biggest thing. Some people have talked about like leggings and stuff like that. So I'm sure that we're gonna bring 1 or 2 products. We'll probably take out the beanie hat for the summer.
Possibly, yeah. Do you know what I'd like? I'd love an item which is like completely left field. Something which actually is a little bit, I don't know, dare I say, risque.
I was going to say something then, but it would have been rude.
What, like a mankini or something?
Oh,
That's what
okay, yeah.
Do you know what?
If you
I
want,
think
you
it'd
can go
be
with
funny, and I actually think it would probably sell well, but that's something we can maybe test.
I definitely think one of our coaches would wear that.
Yeah.
And you know who that would be. So yeah, like, I think we can go something left field. Like maybe every single drop we go something mental.
Just like a visor hat or something.
Just brand it up and see actually who wants it. Oh, we've had loads of people want a cap as well.
Yeah, I think the cap will come. So CWC, cap will come.
Yeah.
And I actually selfishly would like a hat as well. So again, that's the beauty.
I got you one. I literally, before we opened the doors, I got Jake as a surprise a revamped hat because he actually looks quite good in caps. I said that. It was a bit horrible, wasn't it? No, he actually looks great in caps. He does. He looks great in caps. And I got him one, and he's never wore it since. It's literally hanging on your office.
I just don't wear that style of hat, I'm afraid.
Great. Okay.
But one day I might.
I'll save my tenner next time. Let's move on.
So the recommended starter items I would go for, if you're kind of new to merchandise, is having a t-shirt, having a hoodie, tote bag, and a hat of some kind, whether that be a beanie hat or a summer cap.
Yeah, keep it simple. Those 4 items work really well, guys. So t-shirt, hoodie, hat, and tote bag.
Hey, quick one from us. If you're enjoying this episode, you'll love our free weekly newsletter.
It's for current and aspiring studio owners who are looking for the latest growth hacks to sign up more members and keep them.
It's a quick 2-minute email covering the stuff we're testing in our own gyms.
So you'll be getting access to what's working today.
If you're interested, you can join 3,500 gym owners and go to thefitpreneur.com and subscribe.
That's thefitpreneur.com. Anyway, back to the episode.
Now, coming back to it, obviously we've created the collection there. The next step is something which is probably not very conventional, but something that we've found has worked really well for us. So obviously earlier we were talking about different systems that we could have in place. One of which being we could buy all the stock outright and then store it and therefore make more profit on it. Not really our intention to do that. Like, we don't even mind if we just kind of like break even or cover expenses with merchandise, because for us it's just a bonus. But also, the less profit margin we have, the more likely members are going to buy it, and that's kind of what we want at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So what we actually ended up doing is finding a local supplier. Now every town has one. Every town has like a custom t-shirt printing shop or some kind of like wholesaler place where they print. And we have one near us. And what that enabled us to do is basically follow a system which we're about to go into, which is order once a month. They fulfill the order once a month, and we deliver it to members once a month. It's as simple as that. So the way that we kind of do it is that...
Are we going to get onto this? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So we collect all of our orders through the month. So let's just use, obviously, this month as an example. We are now on, April the 16th.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I meant to tell you, is 6 months since we opened the doors here.
Oh, wow.
On the day.
I thought you were going to say it's my daughter's birthday.
Oh, yeah, and it's that as well.
Yeah. Good uncle.
So we're in April right now. So what we're doing throughout the whole of April is we are collecting orders so that we can submit that order on the 1st of the following month, so that members then get it halfway through the following month.
Yeah.
Right. So what are we? We're 16th now. So in the next few days, we're going to get our next delivery through. And those would be the orders that the members submitted last month.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things there. It means that our workload never changes, because we're not always kind of like receiving orders, submitting orders, delivering them. It also means that we can create real urgency around merchandise. So it becomes more of a collectible than it does like something which is just on offer all the time. So for example, we might be discontinuing a lot of the designs that we have currently and then bringing out new ones for the next season. But what it does is, on the 30th of the month or 29th of the month, we can say, hey, if you want your t-shirt or hoodie or whatever next month, you need to order by midnight tonight.
And there's loads of ways you can do that. We use our community Facebook group, which is really engaged with all our members. So we will just pin that post towards the end of the month and remind everyone with the @everyone tag. And then people will get their orders in from there. Or you can text your members. You can send an email to your members. You can basically do what you like. We just choose to go through the group.
Yeah. And just kind of like jumping back slightly, again, one of the reasons we use local suppliers is because they don't mind fulfilling on this kind of system. I mean, you'll be hard pushed to find somewhere online that sells custom branded t-shirts and things that don't mind kind of fulfilling on like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orders.
Yeah,
you have to kind of order a minimum quantity, which is something you don't necessarily have to do with a local supplier because they often have the stock already in their shop.
Yeah, we went to them. They come back to us and say, guys, yeah, we can do that as long as you don't mind a 2-week wait.
Mm-hmm.
And that is absolutely fine.
Yeah, as long as the expectation is set amongst members,
yeah,
then that's cool. So yeah, and again, another reason why we can do that is because the clients actually pay first. So that's something we didn't necessarily touch upon.
Sure.
So let me just roll through like the whole process. I've got it written down here, so I'm going to literally just read it out because I think it's important. Client places the order using our form, right? We just built a form we use a software called Paperform. We just built it in that. We then receive the order, and then you charge the member via our CRM app.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of the booking software that we have all of our members on, you can easily just go into their name. You can do a custom charge on the amount that they had already submitted their order for via the form. So that way we can collect the payment up front. So we can use that to then order all the merch. So then orders are consolidated and sent to the supplier at the end of each month, like I mentioned. And then delivery is targeted for mid next month. Like I said, adding urgency to the orders.
Yep.
Simple as that.
And usually we've had 10 plus garments every single month, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Be sent to members. The first month we did this, I think we did about £1,000 in revenue.
Yeah, we did.
And don't get me wrong, like, I think out of that was about £200 in profit. But like we've said, the key to us is, look, people have Revamp on their back, holding Revamp and
actually
have it on their head.
Didn't we manage to acquire a member the other day based on a conversation they had with a member who was walking in Revamp?
Yeah, so a member of ours was walking down the high street with a Revamp jumper on and a Revamp tote bag. They're just so without Revamp. They've left Nike and come to Revamp. And a lead said, "Oh, you remember there?" And they said, "Yeah, it's amazing. All this good stuff about Jake." And then basically she booked a 6-week challenge, a consult, and she joined.
See,
So-
that is the power. Like, she would have never had that conversation
No.
if she was wearing H&M.
Yeah, yeah.
That is by no means a dig to H&M. That's just facts.
Yeah, I don't think they'll care.
No. Fair enough. One other thing as well, like if we want to get super in the weeds about this as well, like something really cool that we've actually integrated as well is automating a lot of this process as much as possible. Now, it's important to have your finger on the pulse as well, because you don't want to miss orders, because there's nothing worse with a member submitting their order and then waiting a month or waiting 2 weeks, 3 weeks, wherever long it is, and actually find out that we've forgotten about their order or we missed it, because then they have to wait another month, right? So that's the last thing we want to happen. So I would definitely recommend getting the system in place manually first before you add any crazy automations in. But one thing that we've actually done is we've automated the order form entries. So that paper form that we built out, like I mentioned, which, by the way, I think if you search in the newsletter merchandise system, I think we actually have a template for that whole form, so you can grab it. So that basically, any order that gets submitted through that form, we then automate it so that it lands in a Google Sheet. And then we automate email to the local supplier with a link to the Google Sheet. And obviously they can then look at the times filtered from the previous month. So actually it doesn't necessarily require too much input from us. We could even add in one further and actually automate a custom charge on the CRM. Again, because we like to be in control a lot of the time, and because it doesn't necessarily take too much work from us, we do that manually.
I think it's important that you're in control of the money as an operator and as a business owner. Being in control of the money bit, I think, is important, because you don't want clients to be overpaid for some reason, or you don't want them not to pay as well.
Yeah.
So being in control of the money is important. But everything else, really automated. Because we talked about like what a white label system at the start, didn't we?
Yeah.
But we decided that they'd get better products and it'd be more personable. White label, I think we could probably make way more margin if we wanted to. But like we've gone with Stanley and Stella brand for t-shirt, zipped hoodie and tote bag, and they're renowned for being really high quality. Hence our profit margin is obviously low, but members have loved the merch and the quality of it. So
do you want to just quickly go into like the prices and the unit costs and things like that?
So let's go t-shirt first. Brand is Stanley Stella. The unit cost is £12. These are all including VAT, by the way, guys. And we retail the t-shirts at 20, so we make £8 a t-shirt there. Zipped hoodie, Stanley and Stella again. The unit cost for these including VAT is £36, which is obviously quite expensive. We retail them at 40, so we only make £4 a hoodie.
But you should feel them, guys. Those hoodies.
Oh, mate, I had to order one myself.
You wore it.
I went out for a lovely dinner with Connie to a really fancy place, and I wore my revamped hoodie. It's just the way it is. Beanie hoodie is Beachfield.
Beanie hat. You meant
Beanie hat.
Hoodie.
Sorry,
yeah.
Beanie hoodie. Beanie hat is Beachfield. Unit cost to us is £15. We sell them at £18. The tote bag brand is Stanley Stella again. Unit cost is £9. We sell them at £15. So like we could probably retail everything out at more, but frankly, we don't really do this for the profit margin. We make a little bit, and that's great. We do it because members like wearing the stuff. They love feeling that that's part of their identity. And if they ever leave us, they're going to have a zipped hoodie in the wardrobe with revamp on it, and they'll go, "Oh, I want to go back there." And they might be welcome back.
This is also why I love doing this podcast, because what other podcasts can you listen to where they break down the unit costs and the retail costs of wholesale merchandise? I mean, that in itself, I don't think we should probably add that as the description, because I don't think that's going to get many listeners, because that is a very boring topic to discuss.
How many podcasts are as boring as us?
Yeah. Having said that, I know like we're doing this because we get so many questions about merchandise and what brands do you use, how much do you charge, like how do you do it? And yeah, one thing also we didn't mention was where we store it all. And the easiest way for us to store it, so once we actually receive the order from the supplier, instead of sending it out to people's home addresses, we just literally put them in revamp bags and store them in the gym. And it's like a nice little surprise.
We've got nice revamp bags, like paper bags with the revamp logo on, branded colors, which are it's a really nice touch. And we literally Sharpie pen the name on there nice so it doesn't look ridiculous, and they pick them up when they're next at the studio.
Yeah,
they know where they're left. It could not be
simpler.
Yeah.
Just to kind of sum things up, like just to want to kind of like add in the TLDR on this. So number one, I think the reason why we have merchandise in the first place is for member satisfaction, right? It's another retention tool. It gives somebody something tangible that they can hold, they can put in their wardrobe, speaks to their new identity, and something that's good quality as well that won't shrink and, they'll resent the brand. So seeing clients wear it in the gym is rewarding. It also looks great in photos and videos and various things. Like I just mentioned there, I would focus on quality over quantity. So I'd have good quality products in place. I wouldn't have loads of them. I'd make sure that you kind of keep it really simple. And instead of optimizing for high profit margin, just find some really nice stuff that your members are going to look good and they're going to love.
I think the key is to not go into this as a studio or gym owner and think this is going to be a huge percentage of your revenue per month. Go into this with the idea of you'd like that these things to be held or worn by your members, and understand that it might pay for the Wi-Fi bill, right?
Which,
and that's
itself,
completely cool.
Yeah,
it's a win-win for everyone. So go into it with that mindset and treat your members.
And also, just like we've mentioned as well, like the impact it can have in terms of acquisition. We would never have had one person sign up because they had a conversation with a member who's wearing revamped stuff, and they would never have had that conversation. They weren't wearing revamped stuff.
Yeah.
Likewise, that might be in the case that we don't know of many other people. So definitely helps with your blended CPA, and it just gives members an opportunity to share their identity with others. One other thing as well I just want to end on is if anybody else has any ideas for merchandise, we're all ears.
Yeah, we are.
Because we didn't get into owning a gym for, because we want to run a fashion brand. We got into running a gym because we want to own a gym.
And it just so happened the fashion brand come with
it just so happens that we're like Zoolander in disguise, and we can just pull this kind of stuff off.
Yeah, and also if you want the contact to our supplier, let us know. Give us an email.
Well, I said this to you the other day, didn't I? I said we should probably share who this secret supplier is, and then I was resistant to do that because obviously he's local, but
yeah,
he can send stuff.
Yeah. If you want his name, his business, just reach out to us in the comments, and we'll tell you. We'll send it to you. Really good guy. Yeah,
cool.
And he sends stuff everywhere, right? So it doesn't matter.
I was going to say it doesn't
just because he's local, it doesn't mean you can't help anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
But yeah, just to round things up, create your collection. Step number one, find kind of 4 products max that you think would suit your brand. Get good quality stuff. Number 2 is to find that local supplier, partner with them, even include them in some of your member perks as well. You never know. Build your monthly merchandise system. And the way that we do that is we collect payment first. We then submit the order to the supplier. The supplier delivers it 2 weeks after. We then store all of the stuff here at the gym. That's the easiest way that we do it. And then step 4, if you want to go one further, you can automate a lot of that as well. So it integrates with Google Sheets, and you can send an email off to your supplier at the end of each month and so on. But yeah, anything to add?
No, that's the pod.
Cool. See you later, guys.